Welcome everybody to Planet Film Live YouTube channel. As you can tell, we are doing our recap of the 2022 Oscars. Um, it was eventful. There was a lot of
To
things
say the
going
least.
on. Uh, Elephant in the room totally aside. Wow, that was. I think you and I could have possibly produced a better show, from a technical standpoint.
Yeah.
Um, and I'm not saying that as any credit to us. I think a 12-year-old with Streamlabs could have produced a better
hmm
show, technically speaking. But I am one of your hosts, Sean Monk.
I'm your other host, TJ Cornwell, and tonight, while we recap, don't know how long it's going to be. Probably won't be it's not going to be like a regular show, but
Yeah.
we wanted to talk about this, strike while the iron's hot, and not wait till Wednesday for the regular show. So, welcome anybody. Maybe if you're watching for the first time, please hit that subscribe button. Go to Planet Film Network as well. Subscribe there.
Hmm.
So, I think first of all, actually, you know what? Okay. Let's just real quick overall thoughts. Like, how did it go?
Yeah.
Let's exclude the elephant in the room. Okay,
Hmm.
exclude that. How do you think the night went?
Um, yeah, I definitely have no problem excluding it because to me, that was obviously we'll talk about what that moment was, but
Yeah.
it kind of reinvigorated the show a little bit. So, that aside, the other 99% of the show was terrible in my opinion. I mean,
Okay.
you and I were messaging the whole time and I was like, there was a few moments where I was like this might be really bad. And after everything is settled, I think that was pending any Oscars that, you know, I wasn't alive for or anything, or even ones that I wasn't alive for that like I've gone back and watched and stuff. Like I when I was a kid, I went back and watched like some of the Billy Crystal ones and stuff. Like
hmm
there have definitely been some bad Oscar moments, like for sure. I mean, even ones that we've lived through, like the
Right.
Moonlight La La Land thing. Countless ones. Um, this was just from the start to the finish was atrocious. Not only like I said kind of at the top like from a technical standpoint,
Yeah.
um we could spend 10 minutes of this recap talking just about the audio because what the hell was that? The audio was in and out. It would drop
hmm
at random times. The Wanda Sykes gave like a 5 minute, spiel about not 5 minute, but she gave like a minute long spiel about the on stage band and then also the orchestra underneath and stuff. You couldn't hear a single word that she was saying. She was being
Uh
picked up by the stage mics, by the
Yeah.
hanging mics. Her lapel mic was off. You couldn't even hear it. That's one big audio issue, and then also throughout the show there was audio dropouts. Um, Even while Chris Rock was speaking before, what happened, his audio was dropping out too. There was a like a
Yeah.
cracking noise at the actual acceptance speech mic, like the actual
hmm
like I want to say podium, but it's just the microphone stand. There was like a cracking noise there. Uh and then also like the graphics were wrong. When Diddy took the stage, he was, for half of his thing he was going that the Oscars are he was looking at the wrong camera. I'm sure no fault of his. I'm sure he was supposed to
hmm
be looking, it was supposed to move, but it was like, and granted, at that time when Diddy took the stage, a lot was going on behind the scenes, I'm sure.
Right.
It was right after what happened, so I will give them a slight pass on that. Maybe somebody missed the cue because crazy stuff was going on. But that being said, this is the Oscars. It's one of the highest watched um, you know, television events, period. Every year, and we can also talk about, kind of unsurprisingly, because of what happened, this was the most watched Oscars in a very long time. It got about 13.8 million views,
hmm
way up from last year, which only got about 9.1 million. So that's way up.
Yeah.
But my point is, this in the entertainment industry. This is the world's biggest stage. This is what it all leads to, what a year of film and production and in a lot of these movies cases, years, like with, Billie Eilish, who we'll talk about a little later. You think she wrote that song when she was 16, 17 because she wrote it in 2018 for a 2019 movie release. And then the
Right.
movie just kept getting
That
delayed,
came out in 2021.
and then she wins the Oscar, when she's 20, almost
Right.
4 years later. This is like blood, sweat, and tears these people put into it. And like I said, I understand there was a lot going on. I understand that everybody was under a lot of pressure. Um, but I still think, it doesn't excuse it. I think it
Hmm.
was really, from a technical aspect, it was just very disappointing. Um, and then the last thing I'll say, which we'll dive into a little bit more, but I'll let you go into your overall thoughts. Also, some of the choices in the in memoriam, I really felt were very not good. Um,
Hmm.
I understand what they were going for, but even something as a loving connection as everybody knows that Ivan Reitman had with Bill Murray, and like when Bill Murray said his bit about Ivan Reitman, even that came off as like this is not the time. Like this is not the time and place. Just play the music, let
Yeah.
them have their moment. Like and Tyler
Yeah.
Perry, talking right at the top, that was
Hmm.
great as a moment by itself. But I'm just like, if you're gonna have those special honors, maybe something they could have done was honor some of those people in their own quick segment. You know what I mean? Like because yes, is that maybe you could say it's also a problem to say, well, these people are worthy of more praise. You could say that, but also people like Sidney Poitier, people like Ivan Reitman, their
Hmm.
impact to the film community and the film industry was so much bigger than a lot of the other people who passed away this year.
Hmm.
Um, and there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, the Oscars have always, you get to somebody like a producer or a script supervisor, they maybe get 1 second, whereas then maybe you
Right.
go to William Hurt is gonna get his picture's gonna be up there for like 5 seconds. So they have always done stuff like that, but that and then I feel like we need to talk about the hosts in its own separate segment because that was
Hmm.
a whole other thing. So for me, I genuinely feel like Moonlight La La Land might have been the craziest moment. Still, I feel. Um, that I personally have lived through and watched, but I think in terms of the ceremony, I think this is definitely the lowest the Oscars have ever gotten to. I mean, it was terrible. I really thought it was a really bad show. What
Um.
about you?
Yeah. I mean, you've said a lot. You make a lot of good points. There was definitely stuff that I nitpicked and was not a fan of. Like, literally the first, like, oh, sorry, real quick. By the way, shout out if you're watching right now, the person who just subscribed. Now we're at 11 subs, so thank you very much.
Boom.
Um, the first thing that as soon as DJ Khaled came on, I was like, okay,
Yeah, I
this
mean
is
that
off to a bad start. I was like,
exactly.
we're not off to a good start.
100%.
Um, for me, I thought the things like I thought overall it was fine. I didn't think it was like this train wreck or anything.
Wow, really?
I
Okay.
mean, yeah, the mixing stuff and that was all bad. I thought the kind of like the Godfather 50th anniversary with the remix, so I thought that was
Yeah,
weird. That was a weird decision. Well, you just use the score. Like that's what they
yeah.
did for James Bond. Like
I
why
mean,
don't you just use the score?
we haven't even talked about Bruno yet. I mean, that was a train wreck.
The
That was terrible.
that was my next thing. The
Yeah,
Bruno thing. Every other song was performed regularly
e-
except for that.
exactly.
And why did they have to make it this, weird remix with all these different people? Like
Hmm.
it just didn't make any sense to me. I thought the whole thing with them cutting out
Oh yeah, we
you
haven't
know how
gotten
they're
to
like
that. Oh my god.
they didn't cut it. They didn't really do that though.
This
Like I
was
don't
the
know
longest
why.
Oscars in 5 years. Five
But like
years.
the way they like set it up was that it would not be. Maybe they backtracked and they didn't tell anybody because I thought they said that they weren't going to be televised, but
No,
they
they
still were.
said that was originally what people's impression was. But they came out very quickly and they said the acceptance speeches and the category will still be
Oh,
televised.
okay.
But we've already seen, so this is where the whole animation thing that's broken out. If anybody
Yeah.
watching isn't, doesn't go on Twitter that much or anything, um, along with the Will Smith element of everything that's trending, there's also people like, Phil Lord and Chris Miller, huge names in the animation industry who obviously, Lord and Miller, Lego movies, Spider Verse, Mitchell's versus the Machine. I mean, they're kings in terms of high
Hmm.
budget, high quality animation, animated movies and stuff, as well as a lot of people at Pixar um, are tweeting because they feel like the whole kind of way that category was presented was very demeaning to them. Uh,
Hmm.
and so like that caused a big issue as well. What did you just say that got us on animation?
The Bruno thing.
Something after that.
The
Oh, it
Bru-
was the cut categories. That's what it was. The cut categories.
oh yeah, yeah.
So one of the things that has caused an issue, um, is that the speeches were edited down. They edited the speeches that people gave,
Oh, I see.
and
Okay.
so people are not happy. Obviously, some people they said behind closed doors, like some people use their speech to say, this is ridiculous that we're being cut from the live show, but we won it anyways, and then the Academy
Yeah.
went in and they cut that part,
Oh,
as well
okay.
as like any like
I'll
other
be honest. I thought
things.
those were live, so I
No,
didn't know that.
no, those are
Okay.
all pre-recorded, um, and like we talked about, their whole thing was, well, we're gonna cut these categories to save on time. The show was longer than it's been in 5 years. What they've been doing the past few years is instead of individual performances of the songs, um, they would do, like a medley where they would bring out like five performers and each of them would sing, a bit of each of the songs, and it would be like a 6 minute segment, and that would be it. This year, they cut those categories. They gave 5 minute performances of the five original song nominees, plus the extra of We Don't Talk About Bruno, which was not nominated. That was an extra like 4 minute musical number. So they had six musical numbers instead of eight categories. But two of the categories that I told you about that it was between Troy Kotzer's win for supporting actor and Encanto's
Hmm.
win for animated feature. It was 23 minutes between awards being given out. And that's due
That's
to
a long
commercial
time.
breaks, stupid bits, different things. Um,
Hmm.
I mean, they like another example, the Oscars Museum that they've been talking about for the
Yeah.
past five or so however many years. It's
Yeah.
finally parts of it are finally open, but it's still under construction. But that whole thing with Wanda Sykes, I mean, that was 11 minutes. I kept
Yeah.
track of how much time some of these things were, and that was an 11-minute segment. And
Hmm.
it's like that's more important than the eight categories plus the fan moment, or the cheer moment, and the fan favorite moment. Those two
Yeah.
categories, all that stuff. It's just they what they really did is they just made an excuse to cut the categories to put in more crap. That's
Hmm.
honestly what happened.
Yeah.
Because I
And
mean, yeah,
just to like kind of finish my whole kind of
absolutely.
critique, I guess. Um, you know, I mean, we're here for the awards, but you need to get, you need to find a way for regular people to watch that don't really care. Um, and maybe it comes to be kind of, I don't know if it's, has it ever been a sort of like commercial, like a Super Bowl is like, oh, you either watch it for the game maybe, or some people watch for the commercials.
Hmm.
Maybe they try to do some of that to drum up some more viewership, I guess. But yeah, stuff like that, like like her whole kind of like I thought her jokes I thought all Wanda's Sykes jokes, most of them are funny to me. Like I
Yeah,
liked her
she was definitely
joking
the
about
strongest
like
host.
Yeah, like I liked her joke with the whole Oscar museum thing, but again, like it's like, it's 10 minutes that where this thing is
Hmm.
going on, and you're saying you want to make it shorter and you're making it longer. Um yeah, so like those like cut categories, I thought that was live, so I did not know that they cut those speeches, which is kind of shitty.
Hmm.
Um I thought some of the bits are funny. I thought Regina Hall and Wanda Sykes and uh that whole kind of bit where they're coming up dressed as kind of the
Hmm.
different movies type thing. I thought that was funny. I don't think they should do unless they can come up with a better way to do it. I don't think they should do the fan favorite movies anymore, and I don't think they should do the top five
The cheer moments.
awesomeness. Yeah,
Yeah.
that the because it's just I mean, that top five that was a joke. That was a joke. I'm sorry. Like, um, and the other thing with them kind of making up these random, they're not making them up, but like just pulling these random anniversaries for these movies that are not really like, nobody celebrates their 28th anniversary of a
The
thing.
Yeah, like
Like
the
Pulp
what
Fiction. Like that
Pulp
was just
Fiction was what?
like,
It was the 28th, right?
yeah.
What is that? What? Who
Or
cares?
even like White Man, I don't know what White Men Can't Jump
That
was,
one at
what
least,
anniversary that
like The
was.
Godfather, that was
Was that
30 years.
30?
So that was at least like around, an actual like anniversary. But it's like, dude,
Right. But like the
28.
Pulp
What's the
Fiction one
point?
made absolutely no sense. The whole Godfather thing, like, I was like, is Francis gonna come out here and say he hates Marvel movies or something? Like, and we just have Al Pacino
Exactly.
and Rob De Niro just standing here awkwardly. Like,
Well, and
what are we
also
doing?
that's my other thing is they're like what did they say? The announcer and come back after the break. A Godfather reunion.
Yeah.
50 years in the making.
Hmm.
I just watched 6 BuzzFeed videos with these 3 guys together recorded last month. What are you talking about? Like, get with the program.
Yeah.
Like, they're like Al Pacino and Robert De Niro are at the awards every year. The only one that's a
Hmm.
reunion is okay, all 3 of them on the stage at once. I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure 2 of them were on the stage at once last year. Like, it's not like this is the second coming. It's like we still see these guys. It's not
Robert De
like
Niro also not in Godfather 1.
no, exactly. Yeah, I was like when they were doing like the reel and they said 50 years of,
Yeah.
and I get it. They're saying 50 years of The Godfather. So
Godfather. Yeah.
they put
Like,
in
yeah.
one clip from 3 and then
Hmm.
everything else was from Godfather 1 and then Robert De Niro from Godfather 2. And I'm like, you don't
Yeah.
even know what you got here. Like it doesn't even make
Yeah.
sense.
Um, but no, yeah, I thought that was kind of ridiculous. Again, the whole kind of, that whole remix over those clips was weird. And
Mhm.
I guess to end off, I thought the in memoriam kind of song,
It just again it
remembrance
didn't
thing, I
feel
thought that
right.
just kind of took away from watching the people that passed away. And I also thought, like, as much as I hate to say it, like, I just thought the kind of speeches that Tyler Perry and Bill Murray gave, I feel like that kind of, I don't know, I almost felt like that took away from it too, where it's
Yeah.
like,
I
well,
agree
it's like, are these
100%.
people more important? Like, again, like you said, like they're so very important to moving forward in movies, and Sidney Poitier more in like just society,
Mhm.
but it just kind of fell out of place.
Yeah. No,
Um,
100%.
but yeah, I thought it was fine. I didn't think it was a train wreck. Um, I thought it could have been worse, probably.
Mhm.
I don't know. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, it definitely
you
could have
could
been
argue it
worse. That's
probably
for
was
sure.
worse.
Yeah, like that's for sure. It definitely could have been
Yeah.
worse. Um,
I think what saved it was the people that won for me. I think that's what
well,
saved it.
okay. See, that's the thing. To then kind of pivot to what I think this show should be is
Hmm.
like, and I really feel like it all comes down to what it was like 2012 or something. When Ellen bought everybody pizza and then took the selfie. I feel like ever since that day, ever since that
Yeah.
awards, the Academy has been like, oh my god, I mean, because granted, huge viral moment, one of the earliest
It's
like
still a
viral
meme.
Exactly. One of the earliest
Yeah.
viral pictures on the internet, on Twitter
Hmm.
mainly, but on the internet, it's one of the earliest viral, pictures that really, did that kind of thing of going viral. Um, and I feel like ever since then, the Academy is like, oh my God, this is what people want. They want, the scripted, Amy Schumer, taking Kirsten Dunst's seat, and like
That
you
was
could
script.
tell, like
I'll be honest. I didn't know that was scripted as well. I didn't know it was a bit. So I was kind of like, because Jesse Plemons seemed like he did not like that bit at all,
they
and I
both
was
didn't
like,
seem like. Did you see the behind the scenes picture of Kirsten Dunst?
well, she was just
She
standing
she's
there.
like
I assume
she was like pressed up against the wall because she was
she was like an
like,
NPC waiting to load in. Like,
yeah,
I can now
exactly, and it
move
was like,
and
and
load back into this chair.
I don't know, I just think
Which
that
apparently
like,
she's part of it. So
no, they were definitely part of it.
or
I
she,
mean, for sure. Like you could tell
yeah,
Jesse Plemons was like reciting lines. Like you know,
yeah, that's
he's a
true.
he's a great actor, but like I'm
Yeah,
sure he probably got told the lines in the commercial break.
yeah.
But it was just like it was just like, and that was like a few minutes. That went so
Mm,
long, and it's like, here's an idea: if you want to honor absolutely a valid job, a thing that happens at every Oscars, the seat fillers, like that's a thing they usually shout them
hmm.
out every year. Just here's an idea: interview an actual seat filler and be like, how do you feel about your place in this great institution of the Academy? This
Hmm.
you play a pivotal role. How does that make you feel? That to me is more interesting than Amy Schumer making Jesse Plemons feel uncomfortable for 5 minutes. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like I don't understand it. So that kind of brings me back what you said about, the best part was the people winning the awards. That's what
Hmm.
people before the Ellen thing, like before they try to go for that like viral, moment or whatever. Um that's what people talk about. They talk about,
Yeah.
Sally Field, you love me, you really really love, like they talk about all these moments that are just these like genuine moments of
Hmm.
people winning, and uh having these moments. Like to me, one of the best moments of the night was um the acceptance speech for Troy Kotzer, Jessica
Hmm.
Chastain, and Kenneth Branagh. I feel like those three were
Yeah.
and that's what the Oscars used to be. It'd be like, if all this crap was taken out, and if what happened hadn't happened, um, that's what I'd be coming away with this mainly with is,
Yeah.
for me, I love Troy Kotzer's speech. I thought that was heartwarming, made me tear up and everything. But I really love, I'm a huge fan of Kenneth Branagh, and I really loved Belfast. So like for me, his speech was probably the highlight of the night for me. And I
Hmm.
loved Jessica Chastain's too. All three were great. But for me, Kenneth Branagh just, really honoring, the people of Ireland, as well as the cast and crew, and, talking about everybody, that's like a heartwarming, moving moment. That's the best moment of the night for me.
Hmm.
I don't care about Amy Schumer, yelling at Andrew Garfield and Zendaya, while she sprays, silly string dressed like
Oh
Spider
yeah.
Man. Like,
Yeah.
that it was just so stupid. And honestly, if I'm being honest, I up front, I'm really not a big Amy Schumer fan. Um, I really thought, I agree with you. I thought that bit was really funny with the two of them, with Regina Hall and with Wanda
Yeah.
Sykes. I thought that was really funny. And then I was like, oh wow, Amy's not in this. Okay, cool. And then she drops out of the ceiling, and I'm like,
Hmm.
okay, well, that was just like not very funny. Um,
Hmm.
but I'd have to say too, if they were gonna go the host route, I feel like Wanda Sykes could have just done it on her own. I
Oh
mean, she
yeah.
was
I
so
agree.
funny every time, everything that she said. And I will say, they said the three of them wrote most of their own material. So it's
Hmm.
like, you could kind of say, well, if Wanda Sykes was really
Yeah.
funny, it's her voice. She's writing for
Hmm.
herself. So it's like, I think she would have done a really good job on her own. Um, because I feel like she's just more of a class. Like she's just genuinely funny. Like she doesn't have to rely
Uh,
on like the bits and stuff. But when she did do the bits, like dressing, when they were dressing up and stuff, like that was really genuinely funny.
hmm.
Um, but yeah, I mean, a lot of it was just so, like, it was just so like lackluster. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like
Yeah.
it just. it's like something has to change, and I think the Academy needs to realize, in my opinion, and I want to know your opinion on this. So next, I want to hear from you what you think needs to happen to kind of get the show back on track. Um, I think what needs to change is all the changes. Take it back to how the Oscars were like 10 years ago. Because guess what? You made all these changes to get more viewers. Well, 10 years ago, you had 21 million people watching the Oscars. Last year, you had 9. Like, so clearly, the changes you're making are having the
Aren't
opposite
working.
effect. Yeah. So what do you think? Do you think they need to like kind of revert back to how things were? Or I mean, back to how things were, but you could still have a couple, fun moments.
Yeah, you
Probably
can
won't be
have
that
like,
funny, but
to
still.
me, you can have like fun moments, but maybe like again, they're trying to make it shorter, and this year it went like a half an hour, 45 minutes over what it was
Yeah.
scheduled on the little lineup thing, where it
Because I
was
think
like
it
8 to
ended at like
11,
11:38.
something like that. Yeah. So I think like maybe you go back, and I really I think they're just chasing ghosts at this point. Like I don't think you're gonna get you know these these viewers back. I think you do incorporate maybe a little, you incorporate a little Super Bowl commercial type thing into
Mm-hmm.
it. I feel like, like I
I
feel like
agree.
that for me, especially because it's Disney. You got a Thor Love and Thunder trailer just hanging around. You throw that in there.
Yeah.
Um,
Thanks for the Lightyear trailer. The new Lightyear trailer that was the
yeah.
same trailer we got a month ago with 2 new shots in it.
Oh, really? I
Like
labeled it
what?
on Twitter as new. Whoops.
Well, no, it is. I mean,
Okay.
technically,
It
they called
effectively
it
is new.
Lightyear Trailer 3.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But for all intents and purposes, it was pretty much exactly the
Not new.
same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think again, you could still have some fun things, and no, maybe okay, maybe don't take away the fan favorite movie, because I feel like, or not fan favorite, whatever you want to call it, the most crowd pleasing or whatever, I guess.
Hmm. No, it was called the fan
But
favorite.
definitely take out the oh, it was okay.
Hmm.
Definitely take out the most cheered or
Yeah.
awesomeness. That was awful. That was
Yeah.
because there's no criteria. It's like The
Yeah.
Matrix and then like Endgame and No Way Home. And don't we're going to talk about it, but the oh my god, the Speed Force
The
mode.
Flash
Get out of
enters the Speed Force.
here. Get out of here with number 1. So
You know, I,
one thing I will say is Zack Snyder fans showed up. Apparently, they showed
well,
up.
that's the problem. Is that like I get it. Like you know, you want to be more. You want to have more of like the. They said they want more of like the populace to
Hmm.
tune in and feel like they're a part of it and stuff. So like
Hmm.
they did all those Twitter polls and stuff. And it's like, what? Guess what's gonna happen with polling on Twitter? It's gonna be bots and the Zack Snyder army, coming in for like, what did you expect was gonna happen? Did you
Right.
think that Licorice Pizza was gonna end up at number 3? Like, you know what I mean? I don't understand what they were
Yeah.
expecting.
Hmm.
Um, and it's just like, I don't know. It's just insane to
Yeah.
me. Like, I really think that you could pull it because it's just like, and also like you said with the cheer moment.
Hmm.
Okay, so what now? Next year is it just going to be
5 different
five other
things,
different
random things.
moments like, and how
Yeah.
do we even know that this is the accurate results? How do we even know that the one thing that was weird to me was I know that everybody with the Zack Snyder fan base was really going hard for Army of the Dead. So, I can see that I could see that
Yeah.
legitimately happening. Um, but if you remember, like months and months ago, the Oscars released like, oh, here's where the standings are at, and
Hmm.
Cinderella was number 1.
Cinderella was number
And
1.
then
Yeah.
it was one of the major trades. I can't remember who did their own accounting of it and said that it looked like No Way Home was number 1. And
Mm.
then all of a sudden in the final one, Cinderella was 2 and No Way Home was 4.
I think
So I'm like,
Cinderella was 3.
no, it was because what was it?
Oh, it was. It was. Yep, you're
Yeah,
right.
it was definitely Cinderella and
Minamata
then
was
Arm.
3, whatever the hell that was.
That was like the Johnny Depp fans. That was like the Johnny Depp movie that came out this year that like no
Never even
one
heard of that.
saw. Exactly.
Yeah.
Um, And it's just like, what do you even like? How do we even know
Hmm.
that these are accurate? What's the actual criteria? Like,
Yeah.
are you literally doing anything to prevent, counting bot tweets in there?
Hmm.
Because if you're not, your whole poll is pointless if you're just going to allow people to, you know, do a bot, run a bot on Twitter and just redo it all over and over and over
Hmm.
again. Like, it's just so stupid.
Yeah.
Um,
Um, I think okay, so I think we should move on to the elephant in the room, the big moment
yeah.
of the night, which unfortunately was not the best picture announcement.
Hmm.
It was Chris Rock making a joke at Jada Pinkett Smith's expense, and Will Smith walking up onto the stage, slapping him, and then telling him from his seat to keep his wife's name out of his mouth. And then about 20 minutes later, walk up and accept the Oscar for Best Actor
Yeah.
in leading role. So, what was your initial reaction when you saw this? Were you like, was this real? Or,
So
like what was your shock value?
as soon as Chris Rock started talking, I was like, and and right off the bat, he was roasting everybody in there.
Yeah.
He went, straight for who he was like talking about Leo, Denzel. He was going on with everybody.
Mm-hmm.
That's what Chris Rock is known for. He's an edgy, roast style comedian.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so he was going for everybody. But when it happened, and I said to myself, I said out loud, I was like, man, I want Chris Rock to host again. He's always so funny. I think he'd be great.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then he said the thing with Jada, and then the hit happened, and you hear that sound, and I went, oh, that was a funny bit too. I was like, oh, that was funny. I was like, the sound was really good on that. I said that. I was like, the sound effect, the timing on that was like
Yeah.
perfect. And then slowly we were like, wait a minute, did he really? And then you cut back to Will, and it's
Yeah.
really not even what Will is saying. It was Lupita Nyong'o's
Oh, her
reaction
reaction. Yeah.
is really what tells you that it's real, because
That's real.
Will could just be acting and just be doing that or whatever, like as part of the
Mhm.
bit. But the fact that she was just like she was very unsettled and like, oh, what is happening right now. um that's when we kind of realized, we were like, oh, that was definitely real. uh and then we rewound it like to watch it again to be like, do we miss something or something?
Mhm.
Because when the audio cut out, I was just like, oh my god, I was like, his freaking mic cut out again. I was like, they just, you know, what is happening with this? And then we kind
Right.
of realized, and then very quickly that clip from I think it was Australia or something.
Australia or Japan, I think
Yeah,
there was one of
very
there. Yeah.
quickly that uncensored clip was like up, and somebody sent it to me.
Yeah.
Um, it was just like, it was wild, man. I couldn't believe it. I mean, I didn't even know. And then Chris Rock, man, he took it, but he
He
was
handled it
he
like a
was
champ. Yeah.
yeah, he took it like a champ, and he was so rattled, but
Yeah.
he kept going.
Yeah.
Um, but I guess like, so I get, well, hang on. Let me quickly just read off chat real quick. Um,
Mhm.
so Michelle says the show itself was terrible. I actually had some hope for the host, but they didn't need three of them. It should have just been Wanda or Amy.
Mm.
Well, I think Wanda on that one. I feel that they did the fan favorite one to try and appease the people that feel that the big box office movies like Marvel don't get any kind of recognition or major Oscar nominations. Yeah, I agree with that.
Mhm.
And then about this, she says the entire thing, I'm still just so angry about it, and I can't get over the whole thing. Will Smith did not have to do that in that moment. If you wanted to confront Chris, then do it after the show. Yeah, I agree with
Yeah.
that. So my main thoughts on it as a whole is Danielle said suspend Will Smith.
Suspend Will Smith.
Danielle, can you clarify, do you mean like suspend his membership to the Academy? I'm assuming that's what she means, but um, yeah, for me, what Chris Rock said, uh, because by all accounts he knows that Jada is struggling with that disease, alopecia, and then she
Hmm.
has to shave her head and stuff. Um, that was like a crass, stupid, bad joke to make. It was an
Hmm.
offensive joke, but also you have to say Chris Rock is known for making offensive jokes, and he was going after
Yeah.
multiple people in the room, you know, and especially the big nominated people, and especially people that he knows in real life. You know what I mean? Like, if I were to say something, bad, like stupid about like Danielle, right? And we were just like
Hmm.
at my house, I would fully expect you to, punch me in the face. But if we were in a comedy setting or something,
Right.
and I was speaking at the roast of TJ Cornwell, like that would be a little different. And I
Yeah.
understand that this is
Yeah.
not like a Comedy Central roast. Well, it is not a Comedy Central roast, but it is like a Comedy Central roast. The Oscars have a long tradition of having roast style humor throughout the
Mm.
entire ceremony. Um, and what we'll talk about in a little bit with the apology that Will Smith put out, he even recognized that in the apology, where he's like, it comes with the territory of the Oscars and with the position you hold and stuff. Um, so what Chris Rock said aside, because really honestly, with what Will Smith did, it doesn't matter what Chris Rock said, in my opinion. Um, the answer is never to go up. Um, the answer is never to go up and assault somebody, especially being one of the most powerful people in Hollywood, the presumptive Best Actor winner,
Hmm.
and somebody who you literally played. Your role was somebody who was like an overbearing, you know, intrusive, father figure. Like you're literally like living the role
Hmm.
right now, and like and he even said in his speech that. But like also it's like the Williams sisters are there. They're trying to have a good night and enjoy themselves and stuff, and enjoy the success that came from the movie that they all made together and everything. And you are the figure piece. You're what the movie is named after. You're the producer. You're the one who co-financed it, got it off the ground, and you're the main character. You have a responsibility to be responsible. And like Danielle and Michelle are saying in the chat, and what a lot of people are saying online, you know, you had the there was a couple things you could have done. You could have done you could have stayed in your seat and you could have screamed what you screamed with the "keep my wife's name out of your effing mouth." You could have done exactly what you did, and that would have been fair. Honestly, you would have still gotten in trouble with the Academy and with ABC
Hmm.
because you swore on live TV, but um but you don't go that line of getting violent. Or what you could have done is you could have gone up on the stage. You could have looked Chris Rock in the eye and said, "You apologize right now. That's not cool." And, have that kind of moment for Chris Rock to be like, "All right, yeah, I crossed the line." Uh, but you immediately lose any of the high ground if
Hmm.
you go up and you slap somebody. And and it also was just the way that he like walked away, and he like seemed like, well, had to be done. And it's like,
Yeah.
what are you and also like another thing,
It'd be done.
freaking Jaden Smith, like he said that's how we do it. Like that was Jaden Smith's tweet about it. And it's like that is such a terrible example, and there's so many comedians and people in the entertainment industry and stuff that have said like, you know there is a genuine worry now that like if somebody in a comedy club
Hmm.
doesn't like what a comedian says or something, they now feel that one of the most famous people in the world just told them it was okay. And whether that was Will Smith's intention or not, it's something we've talked about with a lot of different problems lately, is you have to be aware of the platform that you have. You know what I mean? And whether it was Will Smith's intention or not, someone is going to see what he did, and someone is going to disagree with a comedian, and instead of heckling, they're going to go up and they're going to deck the comedian in the face. That is
Hmm.
going to happen. I mean, look at the numbers. You had almost 14 million people watching that live. One of
Right.
them is going to be stupid and go out and do that because now they feel like they have permission. Um, and I just think the whole thing in general, it was just an absolutely terrible thing. And then you go to the whole crux of the fact that let's call a spade a spade. He assaulted a presenter on live TV, then swore repeatedly on live TV,
Hmm.
and then he sits down, enjoys the rest of the show, gets the Best Actor award, gives a yes, raw and emotional speech. Granted, yes, okay,
Yeah.
I get that. But a very self serving, in my opinion,
Yeah.
narcissistic, half baked apology, you know, kind of breakdown. And I'm saying, if obviously Will Smith, him and Jada both, they've a lot of stuff in the news has been about them in recent years and stuff, and they're going through a
I
lot,
should
and I
stop
totally
talking about it.
understand that. Yeah, and I'm like, if he really is going through something, if it really was some kind of a breakdown, um, I feel super bad for him, but it still doesn't excuse what he did, and it
Hmm.
definitely does not excuse the Academy's lack of any response at all. The fact that he attacked a presenter, I won't say attack, the fact that he assaulted a presenter, then walked back to his seat, enjoyed the rest of the show, got the Best Actor, gave this long rambling speech to a standing ovation, and then the show ended like nothing happened. And the Academy's response is, "We don't condone violence. We thought about kicking him out, but the Academy governors couldn't convene in time to make a decision." There was somebody said there was 37 minutes between what happened and him accepting Best Actor. You're telling me that in 37 minutes, a group of 10 people couldn't find each other in
Hmm.
40 minutes almost? Yeah, you got to be kidding me. Like, it's such a lack of leadership and just a lack of caring. And I understand it. It's Will Smith. He's one of the, like I said, he's one of the biggest stars. He's very powerful in the industry. They probably just didn't want to deal with it because, a lot of stuff was happening. Like, I understand it's not a good position to be in, but I just think it was handled absolutely terribly. Like, and the fact that there are so many people online, um, not only what's the word, uh, allowing
Defending.
his behavior, or even not even defending his behavior,
Hmm.
but praising his behavior. So many people saying, yeah, that's how it goes, man. You come for my wife, man. We're gonna, no, you can't just attack somebody, like, and I understand that it's like defend, like in his speech, I'm a fierce defender of my family and stuff. The last time I checked, he was not, Chris Rock was not,
I
running
think you
at,
also have to. I think it's important
yeah,
to also check the setting that you're in. You're not
no,
in a
exactly,
bar. You're not in a an alley or
or like a
something. You're
private
at the
gathering or
freaking
something,
Oscars.
like,
Like
yeah. And it's
it's
and
it's different.
and it's like, he goes on about, defending his family and stuff, and that he's a fierce
Mm,
defender of his family. Last time I checked, Chris Rock was not, going, Norman Bates and running at her with a knife. Like, he made a
yeah.
stupid joke. Like, you don't need to, like, smack somebody on
Mm,
live TV. Like, that was just, the whole thing was just absolutely uncalled for. And honestly,
yeah.
I
Uh,
appreciate that he apologized and everything, but it's really just the some people's reaction to it
mhm,
that is really um not sitting well with me. Like,
yeah.
but yeah, what are your all
Um,
thoughts on it? You go into everything you want to go into.
yeah. So when it first happened, I don't know if you noticed, but there was like a cut, like a quick cut, where I'm gonna guess that maybe they like overlaid the clip that they had muted and put it in there. I don't know if you noticed, but like right before like you see or you hear Will Smith yelling, there's like
Yeah.
a cut, and so I'm pretty sure that on the delay they're like, oh, gotta mute
Hmm.
this, blah blah blah, and then we'll play it. Um, so at first I didn't think it was fake because it's like, what do you gain from faking that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like what's the point in putting on this grand show? Granted, they see the Oscars as having a very uh, they're having a very good track record of shocking things happening, from the Moonlight La La Land fiasco to this to there was another one. What was the other thing? It was like 2 years ago, I think.
Hmm.
Wasn't there like a thing that happened like 2 years ago? Was it the Parasite one or was it the one before that?
I don't know. What
Damn, I
what
can't
thing
remember.
happened?
I don't know. There was like something like on the level of like the Moonlight La La Land thing or like this.
I don't
I
know. I
thought there
can't
was.
think.
I
I'll
could
look
be
it up.
wrong. But yeah, I was shocked that he slapped him. You could definitely read Will Smith's lips as well because the camera panned to him as he
Hmm.
was saying it, but he was muted. Um, and I thought it was great that there was a uncensored version in these foreign countries that was immediately posted to Twitter and Instagram and everything. Because for a little bit, what just happened in all capital letters was trending on Twitter, which I thought
Yeah.
was very funny. Um, yeah, I agree with you. Like, what was the joke? Because at first I didn't even know what the joke was. I've never seen GI Jane, so I was like, I don't understand. Like, what's the um? So for me, when I finally was like, okay, I get, I get it. Um, if he did know that she had this condition, to me personally, I thought that the joke was in bad taste. If you know that, um, and it is being reported that that joke was not in the script, so he did go off script on that one. Um, there was probably some other jokes like the Leo joke that was made. I don't think he made it. I think Amy Schumer made that joke
Oh,
with
that's right.
the
Yeah.
with the
No.
climate change
Absolutely.
and his girlfriends or whatever it was.
Oh, yeah. That was the one the Kevin Hart thing was probably what you were thinking about. That the when he stepped down as host, and that's what stopped them having hosts because
Oh
of
yeah,
his
probably.
comments. That's the most recent
Yeah.
other thing. That was 2019.
Um. So I thought it was in bad taste, but even if it was in bad taste, it doesn't give you the right to walk up there and slap him and then scream at him from your seat and then stay and then watch and then go up there, receive your award, make a speech, and then sit down like nothing happened. Um, yeah, it was tough to watch. I mean, like that. I don't think that moment like. Well, Will Smith will get shit for that for like the rest of his life probably, and it is what everybody's talking about now, and it's not who won Best Picture, Best Actor, Best actress. I don't think that like defines him. Like that's
No, I
not
yeah.
again like they have had their relationship has been very public for the past few years, and there's been a lot of stuff that's been rumored and stuff like that that should definitely I feel like should not be publicized. And even they did that red table talk thing. Was that 2019? I think it was. Um,
I think so.
yeah, like this could I feel like this could be like the boiling point to things that he has been experiencing the past few years.
Hmm.
Again, I don't really know that for sure, obviously, but yeah, I'm it really does suck because he won this award for portraying the father of Serena Venus Williams, and they were there to watch this, and this is probably such a big deal for them.
And this is
I thought it was great.
two
I did.
awards in a row when they've had to deal with shit that they didn't want to.
Yes, that was the other thing when we were watching it. I brought up when Jane Campion walked up there. I was like, well, she said that the whole thing.
And she pissed
She did
me off
apologize
too.
though. She did apologize.
But she pissed me off
Uh,
too with this one when she said that thing to Kevin Costner. When she was like, "Oh, oh Kevin, that was a bit dramatic." They gave him like a dramatic monologue to read. What were you expecting? Like, what? Why even say that? Like, that just pissed.
yeah.
But that's aside. Sorry.
But granted, as Daniel's pointing out, she is bound. If you're in the front row of the Oscars, you're probably going to get ripped a little bit. Which again,
For sure. Yeah.
fine. Um, and again, Chris Rock is just that kind of comedian. Props to him again. He handled it like a champ. He was a little shook there, but
He
he
was
just kind of
definitely.
and this whole thing took away from. I didn't watch the documentary. I know you watched it. You loved it.
Mhm.
The Questlove doc that won,
Yeah.
and his speech was kind of overshadowed by
Yeah, and
this
it took
big
away from
thing that just
Questlove.
happened.
Like, yeah.
Yeah. Which again sucks. But I think like the people that are saying like that I don't know if people are saying this, but it's like the discussion of let alone like his membership, but they should take away his Oscar. That's not happening. There is no way in hell that will happen because if you
Yeah.
take away his Oscar, you're gonna have to take away Woody Allen's Oscar. You're gonna have to take away Roman Polanski's Oscar. You're gonna have to take away all of the people's Oscars that have done really shitty things after they've won the Oscar, and that's a lot of people.
Hmm.
So
I will say, there is one distinction with those, and I know you and I talked privately about when we were talking about when the
yeah,
discussion was taking away his Oscar. Was I said yes, those people should have their Oscars taken away, but I said at least you got to start somewhere. And I know
yeah,
that's
but
not perfect
can
conversation.
you can't do that because then it's like it's very bad optics. That would be awful.
No,
Like
it is.
I get it. I get no, don't like I get he assaulted him.
But the
That was
difference
bad.
is at the Oscars. For everything else that those people have done horrible things, this was in the middle of the
Mhm.
actual event. It's not like, Roman Polanski was, doing something right on the stage with some, you know what I mean? That is not an
Yeah.
equivalent thing at all to me. But I'm just saying, for those people, just to be, devil's advocate here, you know, this happened during the ceremony on their
Mhm.
airwaves during their time slot. Like, this was super public. I'm not
Yeah.
saying that they should be, covering up or be saying, well, the Woody Allen stuff happened, a long time ago or whatever. That's still bad. He should not have his Oscars as well. Those honors should be stripped from them. But I'm just saying, if they were to do it with Will Smith
Yeah.
and not those other ones, I'm sure that's what the Academy would say.
Yeah.
Is they
I
would
think
say,
it's
well,
also
that
brings
happened
up a
at
good
the
point.
awards.
It's to the best actor. It's
Yeah,
like you did this work, so you deserve this award. It's not that you're the best person, which again, I don't think this
yeah,
defines Will Smith. I think
hmm
it,
yeah.
everybody
Because
has their
everybody always
moments,
says that he's the
and
nicest,
right,
creative partner, everything like
right,
that. And I don't think it will define the conversation about Will Smith for the rest of his
yeah,
life. But it doesn't. I don't think it defines who he is as a person. I think emotions were high, and Jesus. And I took note when they both were on the red carpet. I was like, oh wow. I was like, I took note. I was like, I'm happy that they're going out like as a couple. Like, and with everything that's happened, I'm sure that was big for them. That it was
Mhm.
like, this was kind of them showing like, on a big stage, like that they're still a united front. They're still going strong, like all that stuff. Um, so I'm sure it was an emotional night for them, regardless. Like to start off with. So, but yeah,
yeah.
do you want me
I
to read out his apology or?
Oh yeah, if you don't mind.
Oh, okay, and on that note, Danielle says, "What a joke of a notes app apology from Will." Well, Danielle, let us know your full thoughts on it. But I will read it here. This is posted on his Instagram and then reposted on Twitter and everything. So he said, "Violence in all of its forms is poisonous and destructive. My behavior at last night's Academy Awards was unacceptable and inexcusable. Jokes at my expense are part of the job. But a joke
Mhm.
about Jada's medical condition was too much for me to bear, and I reacted emotionally. I would like to publicly apologize to you, Chris. I was out of line and I was wrong. I am embarrassed, and my actions were not indicative of the man I want to be. There is no place for violence in a world of love and kindness." And he says, "I would also like to apologize to the Academy, the producers of the show, all of the attendees, and everyone watching around the world. I would like to apologize to the Williams family and my King Richard family. I deeply regret that my behavior has stained what has been an otherwise gorgeous journey for all of us. I am a work in progress. Sincerely, Will."
Yeah, and with the on the apology front for me, I don't think again I feel like every time somebody apologizes like that, they're not gonna win. So it's like it's a lose-lose situation. It's like you
Yeah,
did it, and if you didn't apologize, you got shit. You did apologize, and you're still gonna get shit because you apologized. Like Danielle said, it's basically a note apology,
yeah.
which granted, I think he should have. I don't know. He kind of apologized in the speech, but not really. I don't know why he didn't
He
think to name
apologized to
Chris
the
Rock by
he
name.
apologized to the Academy, yeah, but
Academy, yeah,
he like it almost like you said, it almost was like he was, going around Chris Rock's name. Like he
yeah.
apologized to
Which he,
everyone else except him.
yeah. I think he should have just start like again. I'm never gonna win an award like the Oscar or anything, so I probably should speak on how what I would do. And but like I probably would have been better maybe to be like, hey, so 20 minutes ago just happened. I want to, I deeply regret what I just did, and just do that, and it would look so much better than
Yeah.
apologizing. And then there's that video of him getting jiggy with it at the post Oscar party,
Yeah.
and it did not look very good. Yeah, and again, like Danielle's saying too, like definitely should have been something where he just pulls him aside maybe at the end or at the after party or something. Goes, hey, I really didn't appreciate that joke you made at my wife's expense.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
that's all you have to say. It doesn't have to. You don't have to go up there and slap him. Um, but like yeah, like I said, like again, he should have apologized last night. Uh, Even though he kind of did, but not really. And this kind of notes typed app apology, it's a lose lose. So like, you just kind of gotta take it and just move on with your life, and you know,
Mhm.
hopefully it's unfortunately going to be something that is brought up for years and years and years.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, kind of like you were saying, and like Danielle brings up in the chat still, like she said, he's only apologizing now because of all the backlash. It's why he
Yeah,
keeps bringing up how embarrassing it was. Um, yeah, and like that's the other thing too is that in the speech, in his speech, he said like three times, like, the Academy, I'm sorry, I hope you'll have me back or whatever, and it's like you're lucky you're even still there right now. You know what I mean? Like I was fully expecting after the realization set in of what happened. I was fully expecting it to be, oh, and the winner is Will Smith. Will Smith is not here to accept the award. I thought maybe too. I thought he was going to be so heated that maybe he was going to like storm out. I thought maybe they were just going to leave. Um,
hmm
like not because they were told, but because they were just so angry. Um, but then also like you see we got the videos like where between the commercial break that like it took his publicist Denzel, Tyler Perry, and Bradley Cooper like
yeah,
to calm him down. That like he was still like like ready to I don't know what he was but like that he was still like super on edge and like very angry, and it took like all those guys like like there's that video like Bradley Cooper like like hugging him and being like like you gotta like calm down. And then like Bradley Cooper walks away and he's like you could see it. He's like what the
yeah,
fuck is going on? And it's just like this. It's just so crazy. And like I said, like everything that's been going on with them. Like we get that it's an emotional time, but it's like then maybe if it's too much for you, it's too much for you. You know what I mean? Like then
mm,
maybe you have to make that decision like maybe I should just go by myself tonight or something like because like he said jokes are part of the territory, and it's like he knew that. So I don't know, I mean it's just it was a terrible joke that
hmm
then it was a terrible joke that then was just reacted to in just about the absolute worst way that it could have been reacted to.
yeah,
um and I think that's just kind of what it boils down to. Jeez, yeah, wild. But yeah,
yeah,
for me, like I said, that aside, I really think for me, I think that this is just an all time low of the Academy. And I want to read out. I had a bunch of not about the slap necessarily, but um, there's a Deadline article that just says Hollywood reacts to everything with the Oscars.
Mhm.
But Frank Oz actually, who famous director, Miss Piggy, Yoda, um, also was in Knives Out and stuff. Um, he said, after being a member for 30 years, I am embarrassed to be associated with the Oscars telecast. Not because of the slap, but because of the phoniness of the show. All I sense is a desperate attempt to get more viewers by any means possible, not a show about the love of making movies. And that's a similar sentiment shared by a lot of people, and I do mean literally shared. A lot of celebrities were tweeting about it,
Mhm.
um, and saying, that's really what it comes down to for me too. It's just I just feel so disappointed. It's like the Oscars are supposed to, like we talked about kind of at the top of our discussion, the genuine moments of humanity in the speeches and the winners and, some of the special presenters or anything like that. That's what makes the Oscars is the love of film and getting to see people who love and appreciate film, be rewarded for it. And, and then their speech lets us know how they feel about that. Uh,
Mhm.
and it's just such like Frank Oz said, it's such a obvious grab just for more eyeballs, and it's like any appreciation or true um you know love of filmmaking or anything. I feel like it's been almost completely drained from the ceremony. I mean, hell,
Mhm.
you say it's an award show celebrating the art of filmmaking. Well, 8 of the technical awards, which, as great as actors are, as great as directors are, the art of filmmaking, a lot of it comes down to things like cinematography. A lot of it comes down to things like costume and makeup.
Mhm.
That's what makes a movie, as well as the director and everything. But that's what the Oscars always were, is that from a hair and makeup artist all the way up to Steven Spielberg. Everyone
Mhm.
gets honored with the same statue at the end of the day. Everyone gets honored in the same broadcast, and this year especially, it's been on a downward trend, but this year especially, I feel they drew a line in the sand and said, this third of the awards are less than. You are not as deserving. And you could say, well, that's not what they were saying. It's just they just wanted to try something new. No, the
Mhm.
decision was made. Those 8 categories were not picked by accident. The decision was made. These awards do not matter as much. So we're gonna cut them. We're gonna edit them down. We're gonna make them a tighter package. I get all the production side of the things. It still doesn't change what the actual decision was, which at the end of the day boils down to a third of the awards in our show. Uh, we don't care about them as much. They don't matter as
Yeah.
much, and that's absolutely terrible to me. Um,
Mhm.
but yeah, what are kind of your final thoughts on the ceremony and whatever else you might want to bring up or whatever.
Um, are we going through the winners?
Um, if you
I
want,
just
like, if
want to.
you want to do some of them, yeah.
Well, I mean, we gotta talk about who won at least.
Well,
I
yeah,
feel like
true,
we
true,
can't
true.
just end on Will Smith because
Yeah,
he's not the Oscars show point.
true.
Um, so real quick, I'll just go through the ones that I think maybe as much as we hate to say that people care about them, the ones that the general population really kind of cares about.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I'll just throw out a quick surprise. I was actually surprised that Jessica Chastain won for Eyes of Tammy Faye. I thought that Kristen Stewart was going to win for Spencer. Did you believe the same thing, or were you in the?
No, I had Jessica Chastain.
Oh, okay. Wow, look at you.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, do you know your number? How you did on your ballot?
no, I didn't even look. I didn't go back and look.
I got 19 out of 24.
Wow,
I
that's
was
really good.
super. Yeah, I know. I was super happy. Um, all the main 6, I got the only big Oh yes, thank you, Danielle. Oh my God, I wanted to bring that up, but I
Oh,
totally
Rachel
forgot.
Zegler's joke.
That
Yeah,
was
yeah,
the single best joke of the night. Like that was the best joke of the night.
yeah.
That was great. Sorry, yeah, um, but yeah, I did
Um,
better than I thought on my ballot. If I'm being honest.
Will Smith obviously won for King Richard. Troy Kotzer was a nice surprise for CODA.
Hmm.
Well, not really surprised because I think we both were like, oh, I think he's got a pretty good shot at this one.
Yeah,
Ariana DeBose is pretty much a lock. I feel
yeah.
like since West Side Story came out, it's been reported. Nice to see Kenneth Branagh winning for screenplay.
It's his
I think
first
this is
Oscar win.
first Oscar win for what, like 8 tries or something like that. Like his
Yeah.
so that was nice to see. Nice to see again CODA winning adapted screenplay, which again I think me and you both were like also a good chance for CODA. Encanto winning animated feature was very cool. Cinematography for Dune, I thought that was a lock.
Yeah.
The other night when we were going through these,
Yeah,
makeup and hairstyling.
Dune walking
Dune
away with
had
the most
6,
wins.
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, which Dune won for some. Like I didn't agree with visual effects. I would have given it to somebody else. But sound I agreed with. Score I agreed with.
Cinematography definitely agreed with.
Cinematography definitely. Makeup and hairstyling. I was Tammy Faye. That was a lock for me. Um, what else? What did I? I didn't go. Oh, I didn't go through Best Picture. For me, Coda was a surprise for Best Picture for me. I thought
Really?
it was gonna be. Yeah, I thought it was gonna be like either Power of the Dog or King Richard. I thought King Richard had a shot.
Mm.
Um, Jane Campion as Power of the Dog didn't really surprise me because I felt like that was kind of reported as well that she was kind of gaining the most steam. But yeah, Coda to me was a surprise. So not for you.
No, I that's what I had. I
Oh wow.
I
Yeah.
just thought I thought that I thought the momentum was right at the right peak, and really what it came down to was I thought that the only two possibilities was going to be Coda or Power the Dog.
Mm,
Um, but I think at the end of the day, uh, the not hatred, but the backlash against Power of the Dog, I thought was going to be too much,
mm.
that's basically the main reason I went with it. Um, but yeah,
What a moment for what a feel good moment for when Troy Kotzer won and Coda with everybody doing the hand like
yeah,
shit. Oh my
absolutely.
god. I was about to like burst into tears. That was so good. Did you have a favorite like speech? I think I was big on Ariana DeBose's speech. I really like what she had to say.
I think definitely Kenneth Branagh for me
Yeah,
was a big. I really I thought I couldn't believe that it was his first win,
hmm
and I just thought he really deserved it. But yeah, that was probably the best speech. And then Troy Kotzer, and then Jessica Chastain, I thought was a really good speech as well.
Yeah, agreed. Um, what else is there? Any Billie Eilish for song? No Time to
That
Die.
was
No,
an upset.
that
I
was.
feel. Well, yeah, I thought it was
Oh,
definitely going to go
for
to Encanto.
Encanto.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. I really was surprised at that.
they're well on their way to an EGOT. By the way, they got 2 out of the 4 already. Her
Who
and Phineas.
Phineas and Billy?
Billie Eilish. Yeah, they just need
Yeah,
the Tony and the what's the other one? Emmy.
Grammy. Oh, Emmy. Oh, gotcha, right. Yeah,
Um,
all they need is like a HBO or like an FX series to like write the theme song for or something, you know. Um,
right. Yeah.
but yeah, I really thought that was going to Encanto. I actually said, and I love Billie Eilish, but I actually said, I was like, the only person I can't see it going to is Billie Eilish and Phineas. I was like, that's the one that I really don't see getting it because I was like, I feel like she's just like I thought a lot of the Academy is older, obviously, so I thought that it wouldn't go to her. And I thought also working against it was just No Time to Die itself, with all of the delays and everything that was you know that was going on with that. Um, so I really thought that the movie was just going to get overlooked, and I thought that the No Time to Die song was really going to get overlooked. But I was so happy when they said
Mm.
that. I was like, oh my god! Like I felt bad because Encanto didn't win for any of its music, but at the same time, I was super thrilled with the result. But I would say that was like my biggest surprise of the night was Billie Eilish winning that.
Lastly, uh, let's just I just want to touch. We touched on it a little earlier. I want to touch on it again.
Okay.
Fucking, you're telling me the Flash entering the Speed Force was the most one of the number one cheer-worthy movie moment over uh freaking everybody coming out of the portals in Endgame. Come on, Academy, what are we doing here?
Yeah,
I
that was
know it was a
wild.
fan vote. I know it was a fan vote, and I know the Snyder people came out and voted. I get it, but come on. All right, I also audibly yelled when Army of the Dead was number one.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay. I was like, this is ridiculous. I can't.
I mean, it's like also it's just like that's nowhere near his best movie, and that movie honestly that movie looks like shit. Like honestly, like that movie looks terrible. Not
Mm,
the fact that they like digitally re-added like Tig Notaro, that was great. Like that
mhm,
CG was perfect when they replaced her in there. Um but like the actual look and aesthetic of the movie, I thought just looked terrible, and everything was like out of focus. And I get
mm,
that that's the style he wanted to go for, but I just thought it was really bad.
mhm. I'm
Did
glad
not
Tick
like
Tick
that
Boom
movie.
got some love.
Yeah.
Number five. That one
And
made sense.
I'm glad
They
that
should have looked. The Academy should have looked at the box office numbers for Minamata. Is that what it is? And been like,
yeah.
there's no way. We have
Yeah.
to be getting trolled, right? Like you have to look at that because it's like, what kind of precedent does it set or whatever when you put that up there?
You know
No,
what?
everybody knows. Nobody watched that movie. Nobody's heard. Half the people on this fucking planet probably never even heard of it.
You know
Maybe
what I
more than half.
think would be like the best way to just go about this,
Yeah,
because it's the most accurate way to track everything. Get rid of the Twitter poll, get rid of the fan vote.
yeah.
Here's an idea. Give a 1 minute recognition like 5 times throughout the night to the top
5 grossing
performers at the
movies of
box
the year.
office. Because
Yep.
guess what? That's the number one movie of the year, Spider-Man
Yeah.
No Way Home. Maybe that's the movie that people
They'll
like the
all be
most,
comic book movies.
because that's what people are going to buy. Like, what? I don't understand this. Like, they want to know, they want to be more with the populist.
Yeah.
Maybe go with the thing that sold the most amount of tickets
Yeah.
to the
Then you can have,
populace. Like,
Scorsese in the crowd. I'll get you.
exactly. Like, yeah, like, but that's the thing is like it's just the Twitter poll is so unreliable. It's like people vote with their wallets, and I
Mhm,
understand it's difficult. It's difficult to do that with streaming movies,
mhm,
because but also that's kind of the curse of streaming movies. They don't release their numbers, so they kind of signed up for that. You know what I mean? Like I feel like
yeah.
and the Oscars. I don't want to sound like Steven Spielberg here, but like the Oscars are to preserve cinematic stuff. So I feel like it would be, I don't think too many people would get mad if like it didn't include like a Netflix original or something, because it
Mhm.
didn't gross anything. So I
Shout
feel
out
like that's a good way to do it.
shout out Apple, because I shed all over them. I feel like when they were like announced, and they beat everybody to an Oscar Best Picture win. Netflix has been trying for the past 3-4 years, just nothing.
But
And CODA was
was
boom.
Coda produced by Apple?
No, it was distributed, but they still said, "Hey, we're gonna buy this one because I think it's good." So, in
That
all
is true.
fairness,
No, that is true.
credit to them. They
That
had
is
they had
true.
a keen eye.
Hmm.
Um, but I mean, Roma was close. Was The Irishman nominated?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was nominated for Best Picture, right? Yeah.
I think so. Yeah. Yeah. Like Netflix has had like Roma,
Roma,
Irishman, Ma
Irishman.
Rainey's Black Bottom. That was either last
Oh
year or 2
yeah.
years ago.
Yeah.
The one with Idris Elba.
Yeah.
What was that called? From like way,
I don't know.
not way
Idris
back in the
Elba.
day, but like a few years ago. Yeah, he did. It was like God, I cannot think of it. Why is it? And it's I can't even find it on his filmography.
You're making it up.
I think I am. No, it's definitely real. What the hell? Beasts of No Nation. That's what it's called. Yeah,
Oh,
like
I've never heard of that. Oh, I think I've seen like the poster thing on Netflix. I think I know what
Yeah.
you're talking about.
yeah.
Yeah.
That one didn't get nominated for Best Picture, but that was their first like nominated original film for the Oscars. Like that, it got nominated for a bunch of SAG Awards, BAFTAs, Golden Globes. It won a few Independent Spirit Awards for Idris Elba. But yeah, that was like the first streaming movie that kind of like broke into any sort of awards consideration. But yeah, it is crazy to think about that, you know, regardless of who it's from or if it's distributed or produced by, CODA is the first streaming movie to win Best Picture.
Netflix
I mean,
do better.
that's huge. Yeah, exactly.
on.
I mean, what are you even doing? What are you even doing with your life? But yeah, I mean, that's great.
Yeah. Well, an eventful night last night,
I know.
to say the least.
Oh, let's see here. Let's
Shout
catch
out
up
to
on
all the.
chat real quick.
Oh yeah.
I'd like to know who made. Oh yeah, yeah. That's another one. I'd like to know who made the decision to do the Lifetime Achievement Awards the night before. I thought that was ridiculous. I mean, Lifetime Achievement
Wait,
Awards.
what?
Yeah, Danny Glover and Sam Jackson and a few others got Lifetime Achievement Oscars.
Oh,
which
is that what they were
normally-
talking about? About
Yeah,
Sam Jackson?
that would normally
Oh.
be in
During
the
the
main
show.
ceremony, but they pushed it to the
Right.
night before. Another thing I absolutely
that.
hated. Why on earth did you tweet out the results of the awards that you gave out beforehand?
Oh, I hated that.
Why did
I
you do
hated
that?
that.
And then you put them in the ceremony as if it was no one knew. I mean, they were literally doing awards. They were literally doing awards that had already been given out. Like an award that was given out at like 7:05 Eastern time was aired at 11:20. What? We've known the result for 4 hours.
That is shady that they edited their speeches.
Yeah, no,
That's
absolutely. If you were, I don't know
I
if
did
you
not.
remember or not, there was a report that came out, or a tweet maybe, I think it was, that said, we were just informed that the press room will not have access. The press room will not be able to watch the first hour. And people were like, "Are you kidding? How do we know they're not going to just edit down their speeches? How do we know what they're actually going to say?" So the only people that know what actually was said was the people in the room and the Academy.
Huh.
Yeah, because it wasn't allowed to be shown to anybody. Insane. Yeah.
I mean, at
in
that point, you
memoriam,
might as well
absolutely.
just not let them speak at all. What's the point?
No,
You're
exactly.
not going to play what they said. Like,
Exactly.
I don't know how score is cut. That doesn't make
know.
any sense.
I know.
Shout out Hans Zimmer, by the way, in Amsterdam. Couldn't make it, but
Yeah, I couldn't make
he
it,
was
but
woken up at 2 a.m. I think
his
was
bathrobe.
the post or something.
Yeah,
In his bathrobe. Yep.
yeah.
So shout out him.
He's like, "Oh, another one." No,
Yeah. Well, this is only his second.
I know. It's been since Lion
crazy.
King.
Lion
Isn't that
King,
crazy?
yeah.
It's like 20
That is
something
wild.
years, almost 30 years ago. Yeah, absolutely crazy. Let us know, what do you guys think of the 2022 Oscars? We'll probably repost this video on the main Planet Film Network.
No
Also
better than
probably
Golden Globes.
put it up on the. Considering they didn't have, yeah, that actually the Golden Globes had it right. That's how you do a good award show. Don't televise it. Just cut. Just cut it.
Come on.
Just cut it.
I like the Oscars.
I like what the Oscars used to be.
Mm.
Um, I think they could get there again, though. You know, I think it's just they have to just start making some better decisions, really taking a hard look at things. And I know that's hard to say because every year they take a hard look at things and make changes, but it just keeps getting worse instead of better. So I don't know. You know, let us know, what did you guys think of the 2022 Oscars, and what would you guys do to fix it? What do you think are some of the things that they can work on, or some of the changes that they can either make, or changes that they can reverse to kind of go back to how things were? Or, you know, let us know all that stuff in the comments. You can also tweet at us at the official PFN, like you see right there on your screen. Um, yeah, that'll do it for me. I have been one of your hosts, Sean Monk. Thank you guys so much for joining us.
Yeah, I was other host TJ Cornwell. Thank you for joining us on this Oscar recap. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe to the channel. Comment below what you thought of the Oscars. Real quick, just I forgot I did a poll
Mm-hmm.
on Instagram, and I said whose fault was it last night? Was it Chris Rock or Will Smith? And 100% said Will Smith, and that was about 14 to I think 14 people that voted. So thank you for participating in that. Don't forget to follow us on all our social medias. Subscribe to Planet Film Network, where you can catch all our reactions, reviews, etc. Check out PFN Gaming as well. And we will see you on Wednesday.
Boom.